with my money.
I mean,
I love it with other people's money, my money, your money, your mama's
I like
money.
it when it's my money.
when do I get to go shopping with other people's money? When does that happen?
Yeah,
What
mama's.
what year
so
of my
fun.
life does that happen?
You guys are past that stage, yo.
I
What are
wanna
you talking about?
I want to go shopping.
You're never past that stage.
Alright, fine.
This is a life stage?
Oh, we are. I didn't know we were live.
Okay, I'm totally getting into that stage in life though, where my mom's like, "You need enough, you better figure it out." I'm like, "Oh, I thought you were."
I did that at 14. bruh.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, you are a grown woman.
I was born in it, molded by it.
I'm grown in things like that, but there are certain things that are like, "You're still a kid, you wouldn't get it." I'm like, "Am I grown or am I a kid?"
Look, let me just tell you that I told somebody that I was 38. I'm not even 38 yet. It's not. I've been telling people 38 for like half a year, and they go, "You're still a baby."
Yeah.
When I get to be 50, they're gonna tell me that I'm still a baby.
Boy, I have got to get to a tanning bed quick.
Don't worry. If I get there, it'll be better.
Nah, we should just do the fake tanner and see how it
I know.
goes.
I want to do that.
Exfoliate your skin real hardcore for 3 or 4
Hey,
days.
she's gonna need
Don't put any lotion
hey,
on the next day.
she's gonna need a tan
Make sure you
for
lotion
tomorrow.
after every day,
Okay.
and then we'll.
I do
I'll give you the
already
tan
lotion
stuff.
every day.
Okay.
She's gonna need a tan tomorrow. Can we make this happen?
Yeah, that's what self tanner does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can we make this
Oh.
happen?
Do you really want that to happen in one day?
I don't know. If
You
I was
can.
going to do it in one day, then I just
just
do a
have to do
spray
it.
tan.
You don't really
It's the
need
same.
it. I'm just saying.
Look at my face.
It's the same.
I'm a sickly old lady.
I would look there.
It's the same as a spray tan. All right,
Good morning. What is up?
we are live.
And we're back.
This is one of my hosts right here. My number one co-host here. Her name is
West.
West, y'all. That is West here. She's from the streets.
She's from the screen.
Screets. Let's get it straight.
Yeah, screen.
I'm from the burbs, son. Arr.
I'm from the burbs too, but I lived in the streets.
All right, so I'm one of your
No,
hosts. I'm Kadimah,
Really though, I'm Casey.
and welcome to Freestyle Friday. Got my hustle juice here.
Yeah, I'm on that too.
So
On that juice.
we ready to go. We ready to go. All right, guys. So let's get into it.
Come on, come
We're gonna talk about the weekend and not the artist. Okay, not the artist.
Even though we could talk about him, but it doesn't have anything to do with the show. Might be kind of lame.
All right. So what do we have here? Let's talk about the weekend, please.
All right.
I like that.
So-
You got that for the whole week, the whole show.
I can't.
Accents turned on.
I can't. My accent's terrible. The only one I can do relatively good is Arnold. So she could be an English woman, and I could be Arnold
Right.
the entire time.
Right, I could do that.
She can just talk, and every time she talks, you just say,
Go ahead.
I've really,
fire, baby!
so I really want to talk about the weekend, and I want to talk about how we really just jack everything up over the weekend. We think that we can just make it through the week with our normal meal prep, and then we get to the weekend, and then we just totally obliterate. How do you say that word?
obliterate.
Is that how you spell it?
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Can we just do this the whole show? Casey just talks, and every 2 minutes you say that.
Get down! Yow, yow, ow.
Get to the chopper. Yeah.
There's a bomb in there.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's not a tumor.
Okay, now we're ready to start. I feel like that was good. That was a good
We
intro.
got that out? We got
Yeah,
it
I
out?
feel a little bit better now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I'm totally sober, guys.
Just wait till next weekend.
No, we do want to talk about the weekend. We want to talk about your eating habits over the weekend and just some mentalities that kind of fall in line at different places in the process. Even if you are on meal prep or you are eating clean during the week, the weekend is typically when we see people like, well, I've fallen off the rails, or, you know, I slashed all the tires this weekend, or the weekends are really tough for me. You have responsibilities. You're not in your routine. You know, you're at home. There's snacks and food there. You go out to eat. There's just, right now, there's parties and all kinds of things going on. School events. Your kids have a million things going on. There is junk food present. It is everywhere. So we want to talk about how can we face the weekend a little bit better. This is something that I have personally struggled with forever. So I think that it's a great thing to kind of, share with you guys how I have started to try to work through, being a little bit more successful in the weekend, and how important it actually is to stay on track and what being on track really looks like. So let's start by talking about exactly what 90-10 means.
Well, and I would even go as preface to say this is that 90-10 is pretty, it's pretty disciplined. That is the upper echelon of discipline, especially if you're doing that a year-round program. And one of my favorite sayings that I say very, very often, you're definitely in the matrix, okay, if you're eating 90-10. So 90% of your meals are directly correlated with your goals. That is a high percentage. Typically, what we like to recommend for people is that they're doing 80-10. That'll help them accomplish their goals. So that means for 90-10, that is, thank you. 80-20.
Math.
They're going to achieve their goals. So if we're looking at a 90-10, that means only 2 out of the 21 meals that you eat per week, let's say that's 3 meals a day, right? 2 of those meals are not according to plan. They're off the plan there, right? So if you're eating 80-20, that means 8 meals. 4 meals or not according to plan, right? That are off script, so to speak.
Yeah. So I just to add on to that point, I think it's really interesting when we look at it as a certain number of meals, right? This is assuming that you're eating 3 meals a day, which, let's be real, most people are probably only having 2, or hopefully. But let's just say that you're on a meal plan where you're trying to eat clean, right? Whenever you say like 4 meals being off, right? It's not like we look forward to a cheat meal and we blow it out the water, right? We eat everything during that meal. It's like the Last Supper, but in prison, okay? It's like you just want to just be sick. It's going ham off the rails, eating and just, until you can't anymore. However, being off on a meal might just look like, hey, I missed my meal prep, but now I'm going to go get, we went to dinner. Now instead of having my normal pancakes, I'm going to order XYZ, like chicken, pasta. I'm going to eat that. I'm not going to have any bread. I'm not going to have any ravioli. It's totally speaking from personal experience. But you're trying to make a choice that has it's off of the meal plan, but it's not like slashing the tires, right? You're not like, I'm having the triple cheese, triple meat, just going ham on those 4 meals. So there's just this balance, right? Like this, just a little bit of difference. Am I explaining that okay?
Pretty good. You're doing great.
Yeah, thanks. I feel like
you're doing great. It also may look like maybe you have the pancakes and they're like protein pancakes, but instead you have it's off, so it's a little bit higher calorie. Maybe you have a dessert there that it doesn't have as much protein in it. Right. So maybe you're sharing like a brownie dessert or something like that with the table, and you're having some of it, and since you're not knowing the exact way that the restaurant prepared the food, so there's going to be added calories in there that are not accounted for.
For sure. So
there's just little stuff like that would be off the plan.
Yeah. So if we are thinking about an 80-20 rule, that would mean that 4 of your meals could be slightly off, right? Where you're maybe just a little bit off, but still hopefully around the same calories. That I think people get lost in the sauce when 4 of the meals are just those epic cheat meals where you're just throwing it down. If you have 4 of those in a weekend, you've just canceled out everything that you've done that week, right? It's too much. The scale is not balanced anymore. So kind of deciding what works best for you. Like I've figured out for myself, I have to be on or I'm off. So it's either like an all-in thing for me. I'm not very good at like, well, I'll just have a little bit here and I'll just make this like semi-choice here. It's kind of like once I'm off the rails, I'm off. So for me, having a really strategic plan over the weekend, I think is going to be, I'm saying it because I'm still working through this, but I think is going to be really beneficial because I know when I'm going to have the cheat meal, and then I'm prepared for Sunday to have like regular amount of food and have that food prepped. So yes.
I would say that I follow very similar, well, not in these last few weeks, and I'm not going to do it during the holidays. You can just scratch that off the list. I'm going to eat with reckless abandon until January 1. Pretty
Makes
much.
me so happy for you.
But I say reckless abandon, but it's honestly,
It's still probably 80-20.
it's just more, I mean, really what it is like one day where I'm a little extra full and then I don't eat for a while in the morning, and then I try to get back into routine where I'm having to force myself to eat in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I didn't eat as early as I would wait till like 10 because I had a certain amount of food. So I'm trying to get my body back into a routine, and based upon what my coach is telling me, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get to a point where it's normal and my hunger cues are normal and that stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say prior to this bodybuilding stuff, I prepped all the way until we had dinner. I ate prepped food all the way until we had dinner Saturday night, because usually Saturday night was our kind of team cheat meal where we would kind of get together or decide what we were going to do. Sometimes we'd get together, sometimes we wouldn't, but usually I would say that for Saturday night. And then Sunday, because of, I would blow it out. It'd be, an end of days type meal. Sunday morning, I wasn't ready for breakfast. I may have not eaten really till noon on Sunday, but it was also a rest just from the rigors of a regimented schedule during the week. So my rest day would be a rest day from regular prepped food, from regular activities, and I would just kind of go with the flow. And since you're not doing as much, I typically wouldn't need to eat as much food. So I could kind of be strategic on when I was going to eat. And it would still be something according to plan. Like we would go somewhere, but I'm going to have higher protein on this or that. So that's kind of how I would maintain a 90-10 or 85-15, somewhere in there routine, towards the goals.
And so that's kind of similar to how I used to meal prep as well. Was I meal prepped until like through Saturday, and now I'm meal prepping through Sunday and basically skipping Saturday's dinner and pancakes. So I'm still eating my normal like morning through Saturday and then cheat mealing on Saturday night. And then Sunday, now I've got food prepared for myself for Sunday, which is really, I think, beneficial, because even if I decide to go out to a restaurant, I can eat my meal prep and then I can do something like a salad with no dressing, or where I'm still able to socialize and interact, but I don't have to get full at wherever we go because I already have the food. So I think for me, having that preparation already done on Sunday and already there for me, it's going to be super beneficial.
Yeah. And I always, we like to preface this is if you have a really, really strong goal that you're seeking towards. We're trying to set ourselves up for as much success as possible. Casey has a strong goal that she's after. So that strong goal needs to be set up in a way that allows you to be successful. If we don't prepare, right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So same kind of thing there. If you're just looking to maintain body composition or just maintain what you work so hard to get, you should still think about adapting some of these protocols, because it only takes a little bit of slipping where you go, I'm just going to have this little thing here. I'm just going to do this little thing here to start working your way backwards and start losing all the progress that you made.
Sure.
So consider those things when you're but these are just some strategies that you can clearly see that we're still working through ourselves.
Yeah.
So, hey, these are great suggestions to make and adopt. and see if they work. And if after a month you're very happy with it's not very stressful, it seems to be saving you a little bit of time, you're enjoying that, you're still able to have a social life, you don't feel boxed in, consider continuing to go through that. But for you, since you're an individual, you're going to have to test some of this stuff out and give it a little bit of time.
And it's definitely dependent upon personalities. What works for me may not work for him, and vice versa. It's very dependent on what kind of person you are, and do you need that structure? Do you need it to already be done? Are you super busy through the week? Do you have time to cook multiple times a week? I don't mind eating the reheated food for a week. I'm a kind of like, the food's good for 7 days and I don't want to waste the food. So I'm going to eat the food because I don't want to throw it away. Paid for the food, made the food, weighed out the food, put it in the containers. I did all this work, and then to throw it away just seems like such a waste, because you've invested your time and your energy into making it happen. So the next point is, if you meal prep, eat the meal prep. Eat it. You've already done it. You've invested the time. You got invited to dinner. Cool. Eat the meal prep before you go to dinner. So sorry. Enjoy yourself. And, you can get something that's on the very low caloric side and still enjoy your time with your family and friends, especially during this holiday season when a lot of people are going to have relatives coming in town. You're going to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was literally just thinking of this. Cheesecake Factory has this new menu. It's like these lighter options. And I will tell you, I was like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to eat here, right? We go, Kendall and I go, and I'm telling you, I was surprised. The salads had 350 calories, and there was a big salad. And I was like, this is incredible. Ate the salad. I was like, we could still get another thing, and I'm not going to be completely blowing up my diet. And then I had steak medallions with potatoes, and it was 500 calories. I was thoroughly impressed with the menu. So the options are out there.
The largest menus out there is a Cheesecake Factory. It's like a freaking encyclopedia.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they have a huge menu.
It's awesome.
So those are some definite tips to, keep things moving forward. I know that your weekends have obviously changed, but in a general standpoint, really getting to 80-20 with all of the business and things and, movement that we've had going on, how long from the time that you started meal prepping did it take you to where you adapted weekends into your week?
Let's say a month.
A month total? From the time you started meal prepping, from 1 month out, you were adapting weekends?
Or you mean when you say adapting weekends?
You were incorporating doing the full weekend as well. You had figured out a plan that worked for you through the weekend.
I think at first, it was rough, because the first, I didn't adapt it at all. It was meal prep 7 days a week, every single meal. And I was like, I'm tired of meal prep, right? And then I was like, well, maybe I could just not meal prep Saturday night and Sunday night's dinner or something, or breakfast or something like that. And I would try to find something that kind of fit there. And that relieved a little bit of stress, because I was too obsessed with every meal, and then I wasn't having any kind of social time. And so I would say more like 3 to 4 months as I would, experiment with a different meal here or a different meal there, or taking one out, and et cetera, and seeing if it messed with the results that I was looking for in the long term.
Yeah. I think for me, I take, our weekends are only one day, because typically we work on Saturdays, at least for half of the day. And then, there's either kid stuff or, it's kind of I feel like a work day. Laundry and all of the chores, right? So I feel like it took me a long time. And this is really the first time in my life that I have made meal prep for Sunday. Sunday was kind of just a whatever, but I had just had a cheat meal on Saturday night. And it's not like I went necessarily completely off the rails all day Sunday, but sometimes I did. It was just like once I had the cheat meal, then I was like, whatever. I don't have any food cooked for tomorrow, so I'm just going to figure it out. But it was kind of the same thing. Maybe I won't eat until noon, or, whatever. It just, there was just not really a plan. And I think that with my personality, having the plan in place for the weekend when I'm home, and, that's really the most vulnerable time, is like being at home. What? Buffets, food prep for you as well? Yeah, with all the sauce.
She said Cheesecake Factory brown bread is the backbone of this nation.
That's right. It's good, man.
Golden
It's
Corral.
good. I had to fight
This
that. I had to
fire,
fight
man.
that so hard when I was there. I was like, I want this bread.
Walks into Golden Corral with your set and meal preps. Hey man, I'm paying for the buffet and I'm here to meal prep.
That's funny.
I'm doing
Load it
chicken.
up. Load it up.
I just do some mac and cheese.
That's a really good idea, actually.
That's funny.
Hey, I'm gonna be like, hey, look, you said that I paid a one-time fee and
No,
I got
I'm
to
bringing
do
in-
whatever I want.
I'm bringing in somebody else's baby. I'm gonna babysit. I'm bringing somebody else's baby in
I'll
and
bring
put all my
three
meal
kids,
prep
you bring
containers
three
in,
kids.
in the bottom of the
Diaper
stroller.
bag.
I'm just gonna go.
Sir, you can't come in here with a cooler.
They're like, they're like,
So why do you have a cooler here? Oh,
It's
know,
for
my baby.
you Take outside if you rest.
For my baby.
Eh.
The baby needs it. So I love the fact that when people start working out, let's say you're like, okay, we're going to the gym. You're coming in here really consistently. And then there becomes this lax in your thinking that's like, well, now I can just, I can have that bread. Yeah, girl, give me that bread. I can have that cake. You become lax because you're like, oh, I'm working out all the time. Like, now I can eat a little more. I can have a little bit more of this. I can, it's so funny. It happens all the time. It's like, how are you gaining weight when you're working out so consistently? Like, they do not cancel each other out. I'm so sorry. So sorry to share that.
Let me be walking proof that is not possible.
I mean, it seriously happens often, very often. People are like, yeah, they're feeling great. They leave here, they're feeling great. And then they go out and they're like, I can just eat a little more relaxed, than I already was, or eat a little more than I already was. And it's just so polar the opposite. And I think that's
it's an unfortunate reality.
it's super unfortunate, like very upsetting.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, but don't tell yourself that. Because that is not the answer, my guy.
Yeah, it is super sad that that's not the answer. So
One of the things that we often hear is when it comes to metabolism, or one of our clients, a lot of our clients are in an age range where they have believed and not to their own devices, but to what they've seen, people go through is cows in, cows out is a lie made up by the liberal left. But that from what they've seen, I'm in my 50s now, so my metabolism is slowed down, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, unfortunately, I love how it may have taken science a while, but that science caught back up and is calling you out on your crap. Because
Say it louder for the people.
because the fact is, your metabolism changes almost nil, 0.7%.
Let's go.
So it's less than a percent, than a percent that your metabolism changes as you age. So here's the deal. Sorry.
no excuses.
Sorry for that bad news.
No excuses.
But you just need to eat the right things and work out.
Yep.
Okay. But what they do point to is why do elderly or people who are getting older start to stop and their metabolism slows down. One, if we just think about this in a couple things, we start losing muscle at the age of 30, right? We call that sarcopenia. That happens if you don't lift weights. Okay, so you don't maintain the same muscle mass. Muscle fuels calorie burning, so that's one thing. And also, as we age, many times we just stop doing exercise, meaning we stop doing less activity. You know, a lot of your people that you know, we get smarter. So we're like, I'm not going to do all that hard labor. I'm going to figure out how to not do that and get the same job done. Or when we stand up, we use something to help us up all the time, or pulling ourselves up the stairs, and not just because it was a hard leg day. It's just what you do on the regular. So all of those little concessions that we make lead to us having less activity, which means burning less calories. We're exercising less, which means that we typically will carry less muscle, and it's harder to maintain that muscle as we age. So you have to continue to do the things as you were doing when you were young and carry that into your elderly ages, and you will not see the metabolism slow in the same way.
Yeah. And I was reading an article the other day about how like 3/4 of the people that use tracking or that track how many calories they've burned are off. They think that they're burning more calories than they actually are. So their intake is higher than it should be based off of how many calories they're actually burning, which, you know,
trust my science.
Yeah, science is going to come around for that too. But in the meantime, you know, the best you can do is an educated guess, and we have somebody here that does that.
Yeah, I think typically what we do is we don't count our calories that we burn in exercise.
I don't think I
We count based upon what our body composition is. So how much body fat percentage that we have, and based upon the goal that we're trying to achieve or lean or attain to. So don't count your calories from the exercise. Just eat the calories that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And you'll lose weight. Even if you never ever know what the amount of calories you burned is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah, I think that because I had an Apple Watch for a while, and I kind of became obsessed with like, oh, I have to hit 600 calories or 800, whatever it was. And then your Apple Watch, it's like, oh, you burnt this X amount of calories last week. Let's go for this. Do you want to change your goal? And you're like, okay, like you feel this pressure, like, okay, I guess I'll change my goal. And then you're trying to freaking just live for this dang watch. That is the stupidest crap.
This is literally hitting me too hard.
I had to get rid of the watch. I'm like, I don't want to be obsessed with that. Like, I just want to work out, and you know, it's better for me. It's better for me not to know or have that like standard that this freaking watch is now applying to my life. My gosh.
I had an Apple Watch, humble brag.
I had one.
So hold on. There's a couple
What?
things that he said that were really funny to me.
Oh, I thought you were saying that.
No,
I was
no.
like, what?
Okay, so he goes, do the same things I did when I was young, so I'll just become an old drunk. And he goes, I wasn't the healthiest when I was young. You're giving me conflicting information. So let's preface this. If you're doing the healthy activities, okay?
Pick whichever's healthier and stick with it.
So let's get you to do that, all right? Lift weights, do some cardiovascular exercise, at least 150 minutes a week. That's what the Surgeon General, not the Surgeon General, I can't remember the other, the Health Institute or what,
The internet.
I do science. I'm in fitness. I lift weights. I've lost every bit of brain cell activity. System just shut down.
That was literally my last brain cell talk.
Oh my gosh. Hey, on that note,
It's been a great day today, guys.
Oh my goodness.
The hustle juice is helping a lot.
The hustle juice is gone, and that's why we're.
It sounds like that.
So the moral of the story is
Don't do drugs.
that too.
Moral of the story is just calculate your macros.
Yeah, just if meal prep through the weekend. The weekends do matter. Figure out what's going to work for you, what is going to work best. Play around with it. One weekend devote to prepping the whole weekend. One weekend devote to, trying to be maybe a little more laxed on one day. Maybe don't have 4 blowout cheat meals instead of, just having one. There's several things that we can do to be prepared. So hopefully some of this information was useful to you.
Especially the last part where I lost all my brain cell activity.
Yes, we really appreciate that.
Organization, company,
Yeah,
people.
guys.
Everyone sucks but me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jimbo. Hashtag boosting my self-confidence.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But guys, we hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for being with us today. I'm one of your hosts, Casey,
I'm Kadimah.
and this was Freestyle Friday.
Peace. All right, who's going to the Cairo?
I gotta go. Not me.
No?